All right, now we're going to talk about some important habits that you need to develop. And these habits, they both specifically relate to this course in strategic networking for profitable real estate deals, but they're also just kind of some core things that will benefit you greatly in your business if you can learn these things and practice them and implement them. All right? Habit number 1, keeping in touch with your people. All right? Now, that sounds like a really big thing, especially if you have one of those old school vast networks with 1,000 people and you have a stack of business cards, you know, this thick. But it's really not that big of a deal whenever you only have when you have a strategic network, when you have a small pool of people that you're keeping in touch with on an intimate basis, okay? Now, it's just so important. In your mind, you might feel like, you know, you've made some connections with these people, and you know, you shook their hand and you gave them your business card and your buying criteria, and they said they were really interested and it sounded great. And in your mind, that may be good. But then, you know, months go by and you kind of forget about each other, honestly, you know? I mean, everybody kind of has their own things going on, their own focuses, and, you know, even though in your mind, you know, you made that connection and it feels good, that's not enough. You know, you got to stay in contact with these people. You have to call them up. Even if there's not something really specific to talk about, just kind of as a reminder, you got to keep reminding them that that connection is there. You know, just call them up, ask them how things are going. You know, let them know that you're still interested in houses, and see if anything's changed on their end. See if there's anything you can do to help them out. You know, that's what this whole thing is about. The course is about going deep and building meaningful relationships with a small number of people instead of a broad, shallow relationship with a lot of people. That's what makes this whole thing work. But you got to stay in contact. Now, once you get a couple deals going, I promise you that contact is going to be much more frequent naturally, because you know, you're going to be excited, you know, you're getting in tune, and you know, you're working together on some houses. You know, that's when everything really starts clicking, especially when you're firing on all cylinders and you have multiple connections that are funneling these deals to you. But until you get to that point, you have to manually remember to maintain that connection. Pick up the phone. You know, I am a big advocate of just making the phone call. You know, text and email, you know, they're handy tools to have and they have their place. But as far as building, you know, a real connection that means something, pick up the phone. Or even better than the phone, go meet them in person. You know, that's the very, very best thing you can do. Go have lunch, you know, take them out and grab a burger or whatever. You know, option number 2 is pick up the phone. Still very powerful. And then beyond that, you know, text and email, that's just kind of weak. You know, it's better than nothing marginally, but not nearly as good as a phone call or meeting in person. You know, really just kind of let that stuff sink in. It's a practice that very few people do in today's business environment when we have all these handy tools like text and email. But because of that, because so few people do that, it's that much more powerful when you do. All right? Maintain that connection. Keep in touch. Okay? All right, moving on.